Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we get started and bring on special guest Ace of Trades, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top of Futures, Code RDF, Edgeful, Bookmap, and others. Chat, what's going on, man? What's going on? We got a beautiful Thursday, January 29th. Let me get my screen pulled up real quick. And I can see him backstage. We got special guest, Ace of Trades. Get ready to hop on stream. What's going on, my man? What's going on, Ace? How we doing?
How are you today, brother? Welcome, everyone that is on stream. I appreciate you guys for having me. Man, what a good Thursday.
What an awesome Thursday, man. Post FOMC. We're going to finish out this week strong, man. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you.
Of course.
You. So I see you got your charts pulled up in the background as well, man. Bring those up in just a minute. But how's your week been going, brother?
Week's been going well. Yesterday, I had Tanner on my stream. What a amazing guy. Such similar personalities. Absolute goofs. Love the gym. Even yourself, you know what I mean? Like, loves to go to the gym, loves to rock climb. And I think that's the amazing thing about like our little group is like we're so similar and we mesh so well. So the week's been going well. Took a lot of green this week. So trying to tread lightly going into the end of the week. Today, just trading a nice little straight to funded, no non-consistencies for today, and trading options still.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Let me bring up your screen real quick. Maybe
For sure.
I'll let you. I won't even do the intro, man. I'll let you run it right off the rip, man. Guys, if you want to check out Ace on socials, I'm gonna throw his IG up there. Ace of Trades. I try to plug everybody that comes on. But yeah, brother, take us through. We're pre-market. We got about 5 minutes to NYSE open. What are you? What are you looking at for futures? What are you looking at for options, man? Because I've been more on the options side this year as well.
Yeah. So I was looking for a massive extension. We were staying on. So first things first, chart that I'm going to be talking about for this morning is going to be Meta. Meta, I took a 700C, which it is now deep inside of the money, all the way at 730. 736 is the current underlying here at pre-market. What I was noticing here on our monthly, if we just head over there, let me get rid of a lot of this noise for you guys because a lot of this is intraday levels. There we go. But what I like to see is us hold what's called basing candles. So basing candles is where your accumulation lies. And as you guys can see, that's this right here. Zach also started to talk about it a lot. I noticed too. I like to watch like a hawk all of the traders in the space. And essentially it is going to be your volume profile, right? So where your high peak is where your most transactions are occurring. What I like to see is where that POC is. Is there any VPOCs, meaning virgin point of controls, also known as naked point of controls, that have not been met? Because we know that there's a lot of orders. We also know that we go from peak to peak, right? The reason why is because we're magnetizing where our equilibrium should trade based off of fair price. That's all the market is. It's called price auction theory. Right? We want to go from one price to the next based off of where fair price wants to lay. And this is all based off supply and demand, economics 101, which is what I love to do. So from here, what I wanted to see was this previous move down, which created a nice hammer to a reversal, got tapped, came back, did a little bit of a retest, didn't even get there to that 600, which is also a psychological level. And then from there, I wanted to see this thing obviously pop. It does help the fact that it is a news trade, so I did trade lightly knowing that. But on weekly contracts, 700 Cs currently up, $35 in the money. This one's going to be a beauty for sure. I'm definitely going to see over 100% return on that.
Beautiful, dude. Now, for options, I mean, you're essentially applying the same mindset and approach that you are to futures, kind of just higher time frames there, like you're looking at on individual stocks.
So On options itself, because you are dealing with theta, obviously, and a lot of the Greeks, I do trade it slightly different because there's a lot more factors that come into trade or into play when it deals with price. It could take a lot longer than you expect the move to happen, which obviously you're going to start to get theta decayed. And do you want to fight theta with your delta with trading weekly options, right? So do I need to roll the contracts over to the next week? Do I need to adjust where my strikes need to be based on where I see the intrinsic value being? So there's a lot of factors that come into play there. But when I deal with futures, I do use my higher time frame analysis, work all the way down to that intraday, and really start to grind out and preach the fact that just because you have an overall bias, just because the market is bullish on the higher time frame, it doesn't mean you can't trade the reciprocal on the intraday, right? Whereas on an intraday, shorts might look beautiful, but on a longer time frame, we know that it's still long.
Yep. Still pushing the upside. No, awesome, man. Awesome. So, yeah, I'm watching YM off the open. I'll do a little bit just for my community, give a little bit of the overview. Kind of the same, man. Somewhat of a slow start to this year for me this month. Back and forth to start, and then FOMC super choppy yesterday. I've had a couple of these just stay patient, days where I was no trade at all yesterday. This looked a little bit cleaner on ES and NQ. This is god awful on YM here. So for the morning, man, popped to the upside really early in pre-market. Not a whole lot out of that 8:30 a.m. news. I'm watching this thing from a higher time frame, kind of chop back and forth here. Failed to get above highs, starting to consolidate, right? If I was going to draw a really zoomed out 15-minute, wedge here, this is kind of what it would look like. So I do think we could see, I'm not a chart pattern trader, but from a higher time frame, I do like to take a look like this. I think we can see some volatility if we do start to get a move to the upside, start to get a move to the downside. Maybe we've gotten through FOMC yesterday and some unemployment today, and the market is ready to make a decision. Hey, we're going to push back towards all-time highs, go and test that. We're going to turn to the downside and sell off. But either way, I'm going to be looking for that similar kind of mean reversion trade off of the open. Somewhat similar to yesterday, honestly, guys, from my community, kind of what I was waiting for. If we crack to the downside, somewhat aggressively, I might look for this sweep of, what is this, the 26th? Yeah, January 26th low, below yesterday and Tuesday's low. I might look for a crack all the way down here, fade that for a push back up to the upside. If we pop to the upside here, instead, we come over here, sweep this big Asian London push to the upside, I might look to fade that back down. But overall, I'm not looking to be a hero. I'm not looking to do anything too crazy coming into the end of this week, end of this month. Just really maintain as we're opening up here for NYSE. Yeah, man. Chat, what's going on, guys? Didn't even get to say good mornings to everybody. Welcome to the show, man. I see you got your boys in here. Prop Hub going wild. Awesome to see, man. Awesome to see.
Of course, I definitely told them to show some love, just like you. Whether I feature or whether I have people on my stream, got to share the love. People are going to go where they want to go, and at the end of the day, what I like about me, you, Tanner, is that we're real traders actually doing this thing, right? Yeah. We're not here to just grab all your guys' money. We're here to show an example of what real trading consistently with discipline and having a realistic approach to trading is like, right? Mm-hmm. We have people who have been doing this full time now for a year to 10 years of experience, but it doesn't matter if they're intentionally trying to pop your accounts or just push affiliations in your face. At the end of the day, you guys want to become self-sufficient in this. You guys want to be able to do this yourself. So I told the whole community to come over, show some love, and hopefully they start to pop in and roll in soon.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. And yeah, man, it's awesome.
There we go. There's our open. Also, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead. I'm going to pull over to your screen if you're
cool. Yep, for sure. So from here, guys, on those meta trades, just closed off at $3,615 per contract from 1,255. So nice little 188% there.
Beautiful. They had some earnings yesterday, right? If I'm remembering.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, nice. You had the news trade on there. I'm looking at it on the side, pop to the upside. For NQ, man, I see you got your chart up here. when you get a second, because I know you're managing some options trades and trading live with me here, so it's always nice to overwhelm the guests when you get a chance, man. Run us through how you approach trading futures off the open here. You for those that don't know, Ace is a market veteran. He's been at this far longer than me. I could let you speak for yourself on the highlights, but I always like to hype everybody up. Ace, I think it's probably, if you go to his X or maybe even on IG, you'll see he was a former Top Step leaderboard for individual live profits. Was there a couple $100,000 on one of those, Ace? It was a pretty gnarly number I remember seeing.
So from that leaderboard in particular, because they did weekly updates at that time, it was right around, I believe, 20 or 260 or 280. I'm not too sure. I don't remember where I was on the leaderboard, but that account was actually all the way at like 310,000, 310 on those set of accounts. And I was telling yesterday to Tanner, a lot of people thought I sim farmed those accounts, which I know there's a lot of backlash when it comes to sim farming, and I don't believe in sim farming. But at the end of the day, if a prop does allow you to sim farm, then I mean, it's all up to your discretion, right? Like at the end of the day, we're here to get our dollar, and if they're allowing such abuse to take place at their prop, then of course you got to do what you got to do. In my case, it was actually my second set of accounts when it dealt with being on the leaderboard there at Top Step, which was incredible.
Yeah, man. Badass run. So yeah, man, watching this market on YM, not really do too much. We had to move right back to VWAP, and we're kind of just hanging out here. I was actually expecting a little bit more of a move off the open. I'll pull my chart up real quick. I know you're getting your stuff set as well. I was expecting, well, here we go. Maybe we get it now. I was expecting a little bit more of a move off the open. We kind of just popped up until right now as we're starting to gain some momentum here. There we go. Here's some momentum coming in on YM. We were just hanging out at VWAP here 4 minutes into the open, 9:34, almost 9:35 a.m. Eastern. Again, I'm not looking to do anything too crazy. I really would prefer the long over the short. We did sweep. Just looking at where we are relative to yesterday's volume profile, yesterday's daily candle, we did sweep yesterday's low right off the open. So really right after session changeover, we came down, swept that low, and then from there we pushed to the upside. We came back to VWAP, tested a couple times. Maybe this is all we have to do before we just blast off today and we turn this into a really nice big daily candle. I would have preferred the longs. I would have preferred the aggressive longs down here if we pulled that classic YM. Take everybody out, take all the stops, and then run to the upside. I'm gonna have a short play setting up here around the 49,500s. It's a little bit aggressive. It's a little bit counter to the real direction that I want to be trading. And from a higher time frame view, zoomed out, these markets are just so damn bullish. I just have a much higher hit rate on longs, but I will look for that kind of classic mean reversion play. If we can pop to the upside here. It's not my favorite, but I'm going to be getting interested around, probably around 49,500s. If we push about another 150 points to the upside here, I'd be curious on YM to look for potential long. And reason for that level, not only is it around psychological number, key area on volume profile, right? High volume node, just like Ace was talking about off the open. Basic discretionary area of interest. I think we're likely to return up there. We've done a lot of business there. Buyers and sellers have fought it out. You can see volume profile point of controls for individual days. Overlap there. It is kind of in the middle of this choppy back and forth range that I've talked about being a little bit of a danger zone. I've really liked trading from the extreme up here or down here. But I would be interested to see what happens if we come up into this area. Again, I think for a short, I'd be staying patient till at least the 49,500s. Probably waiting to see if we crack above that by 20, 30 points. And then maybe look to fade that for a little reversion back down. But I am cautious as we start to open up here that we could see just the continued push to the upside. I don't think NQ is doing this. I think it's turning.
NQ is sliding like no tomorrow. We are currently looking at her 150 points down from her high of today's NY Open.
There we go. Yeah, pushing the downside. So as usual, YM and NQ living in their own worlds, not
For
correlated off
real.
the open. But yeah, man. So take me through. I know you've got a pretty badass approach on the U.S. indices here. I think primarily NQ. Or are you trading? I don't think you're much on ES, right?
Yeah, no ES for me. It's going to be NQ, GC, and adding in silver into the mix now. But mostly
Nice.
NQ and GC for Globex. So when we're dealing with our Sydney, Asia, and our London's markets overnight.
Awesome, man. Awesome. On this move off the open here, anything that you're seeing getting close to setting up for the way that you'd approach this market, or are you kind of saying, hey man, post FOMC end of the week, I'm chilling out a little bit, nothing too crazy?
No, most definitely. My levels, so I provide levels every single morning, essentially, just so people know what I'm looking at, where my bias is, what direction I'm typically going to gauge. If it breaks X, then this is where I believe it might be heading, so on and so forth. So yesterday, which I mean, the chart on NQ was very, very similar. I'm going to pop it up on screen just so people can see.
Nice.
But I was huge biased to the downside. And the reason why is because when we're looking at those higher time frames, which is where a lot of my validation is going to come from, guys, because that's what trading is. We're using past information to try to dictate where the road wants to go in the future, right? So based off statistical edge, we know that on our higher time frame, as we begin to approach these all-time highs and all we're seeing are wicks above, we know that based off of auction market theory, right? We know that this is a supply zone. Again, going back to economics 101. So as we approach those levels, and we actually did tap into that order block yesterday, we just shot straight down. I was looking at a break of 107 as a really, really main level. So as you guys can see here, targets below are 26,230, 26,190, 26,120. And as soon as we cracked those, I wanted to see our swing high off of my fibs, which is 26,107 get cracked. And it tested that, reclaimed, try to come back for that CE, also known as consequent encroachment, or your 50% level, to which we began to slide. From here, what I'll use is what's called your normal distribution, right? Which is where also volume profile comes from. So from a statistical point of view, coming back all the way to like statistics 101 when we're in school, it's just saying, where does 68% of the data come from within an X amount of period from your swing low to swing high? That brings us back from our average daily range low, back underneath it, as you guys can see by my chart. And by us being underneath our average daily range low, it means we now head into what's called a new sigma. So I know a lot of this sounds like jargon. It's like, yo, this guy's just saying a whole bunch of terms and it doesn't really make sense. But when you're thinking about statistics 101, it just means that we've now created a current outlier in statistical measures, meaning we can now see new areas start to get targeted, and a lot of those VPO or those VPOCs, right, virgin point of controls that were not met will now be met. So we're going from high transactional area to now another high transactional area, with all of this being a trough, meaning a nice hole inside of your volume profile where price does not want to auction and it's going to magnetize to that next node.
Awesome breakdown, man. Awesome. Yeah, no, that's the it's not just a bunch of jargon. It is the more detailed explanation, really, of the way that most of us are approaching trading, right? Like I was on AC Trades, Austin's live stream on Monday, and they trade a very statistical based approach. And I like when I first talked to him, because I hopped on a call with him just myself. We had spoken for like an hour. I was like, dude, I don't know if we're gonna jive. Like, I'm pretty discretionary. The way that I approach stuff is very, very simple, like stupidly simple. And we get to talking, and of course, they're using a lot of the same tools, right? They're trading from these same levels that are based off of volume, price action, market structure, right? And it's a lot of this overlap. So I think it's really interesting. Everybody's going to have their own nuanced, specific way of doing it, right? Their own way of describing it. But the core, the underlying, right, for the most part, and there's a million ways to do this. Maybe you're trading, somebody out there is trading the sun's rays or the tides of the Hudson River, right? But for the most part, we're identifying, key price levels, areas of interest on the chart, zones. We can call them supply and demand, order blocks, whatever reasons and that we want to call them. But essentially, when we look at price action, market structure, and volume by way of volume profile, either visible range volume profile, session, a fixed range, these things line up together where we really see a lot of the same levels being marked out on charts. And there's a reason for that, right? Price is getting back there, reacting. We've got a fight that's been put up before. It doesn't always go that way. Price can do whatever it wants. Sometimes it just disrespects everything on the chart. But for the most part, right, if we mark out some of these really simple levels off of volume profile, off of basic market structure, you can find a pretty good way to structure risk. You find a pretty good way to wait to get involved with the market. Maybe they're not going to provide, only the OGs know moon cycles.
Oh, man.
You guys in the chat are hysterical. But no, man. So I love to see it, dude. I love to see it. And yeah, from a more technically based perspective, that's a really, really good explanation. Again, the way that I run it is as stupidly simple as I possibly can, describing what I see on the chart, that type of deal. But that's where it comes from, right? Market auction theory, and the baseline really of what's going on, the supply and demand, and the transacting between buyers and sellers behind it. So anybody listening out there, I think however much detail you need to go into to build confidence and understanding in what you're doing, I think go for that. And if that is more detail, the way that Ace is describing here, absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you say, hey, that's all crazy complicated, I want to look at a chart and draw the line and then trade from there, send it. You can
this chart is going insane right now,
still
Zach.
moving to the downside. I know.
Still moving to the downside. Currently down 220 points now here.
I watched YM pop to the upside and is really starting to turn back down, trading like 150 points off this high. I think that might have been it. Not quite the 500, the 49,500s. We traded to, let me pull my chart up real quick here. Traded to, this is what I was looking for. 49, what's our high here? 442. So not quite up to this level. Not quite there. We did sweep this Asia London pre-market high and come right back down. This is the mean reversion type of move that I was looking for off of the open. Just not quite enough. Not quite enough. Kind of like yesterday, man, where I was waiting for that. We just really peaked outside and we put this super duper tight daily range in. Only a couple hundred points on YM. So, man, this is close. I love to see the move that I wait for play out. I don't like to see it not hit my level, not come to my area of interest, and then play out without me. But that's part of the game.
That's how she goes sometimes.
Yeah, this could be lookout below, man. This feels really like an aggressive turn to the downside here on YM. I think we might have, not that I trade correlations, but I think we might have NQ and ES leading YM here, and we might start to turn back down. Let's come back over to NQ, man. Yeah, wow, gnarly off the open, straight down.
So gnarly. Yeah. I'm actually trying to find a potential reversal around here at 25,950. Not looking to target too much if we do reclaim over that 950. So here's that test right here. And I'll let you guys know if I execute or not. But I want to see this hold at 950 with relative strength. So we do have a nice doji being printed in. So it's not relative strength right there. But we're all coming off of key levels, which is what I'm watching, right? So we have what's called our node edge, right? So you grab that high transactional area, you grab the bottom of that high node, and then that's where we're currently leading. So that's also where my CE is, my previous monthly high, our weekly value area low. So with all of those stacked to levels, I'd love to see it reclaim and then see that reversal begin to push. But hey, the chart's going to do what it wants to do. And if it's time to slide, this thing's just going to keep on going. So you got to wait for the confirmation.
Yep. 100%. I think it's a solid thing to have your discretion, right? Know what you're looking for from a higher time frame point of view, but then have a little bit of, for lack of a better term, rules, right? Or something that you're waiting to see on the chart before you just jump in. But man, yeah, I'm watching YM completely come back down through the lows now, putting lows of NYSE session in. This thing's looking really, really heavy. I would have loved to find a way in short up there. That was the opportunity, but just a little bit too aggressive. We cracked that pre-market high by 10 points. I would have had to have gotten in, and we didn't stay there at all. I would have gotten in really, really quick. At this point, I'm going to be really cautious on a long play, man. I think this thing could start to come through the lows. I'm tempted to wait for a little bit of a retest of this current high volume node, the kind of the middle ground of this of yesterday's volume point of control, and maybe look short on this for a continuation. But I don't know that we're going to get that. This thing looks like it wants to go, but I'm going to.
I did smack along right there, guys. So right at that 950, like I said, my fill is 53, and there it goes already. 25 points off the rip. Still holding this through. Going to just move my SL into profits now. As there's 40, this thing's just going. So nice catch right there. Waited for the confirmation, so it tested below those levels. Nice wick, beautiful reversal. Let's see if this reclaims 26K right here. And we are deep inside of the money with 50 points to start off. What a beautiful stream already, Zach. Waiting for confirmation, trading slow and just grinding through.
Yep, fast moving market, man, but making it happen. Nice reversal there. At least to pop back up. I don't know this is going to be a big reversal, but enough to obviously catch over 50 points. Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Now you typically watch some low time frames here, man. You make it work on NQ. This is a 2 minute, looks like, right?
Yeah, so I flip between. All my draws essentially are on the higher time frame. It's just the execution happens on my lower time frame.
Nice. Very, very nice.
So here we are trying to reclaim 26K, guys. That's a massive psychological level. So when we're dealing with the thousands, right? 26K, 27K, you're going to see a lot of orders flow inside of there. Just psychologically, think of yourself. When you guys see a whole number, you guys are like, hey, you know what? That seems like a pretty good target. Same thing's happening inside of the market. Again, it's just all auction theory right there.
Absolutely. I'm watching YM pull back up here, and I'm tempted on a continuation short. I'm just waiting for a little bit better of a price here to see if I can't get in maybe right around VWAP here on YM. I'll pull my chart back up in a second, guys, if I get close. And we got a little bit of movement here. I'd really want to go with a stop outside of this session high, so I might even run micros instead of minis on this just to get my stop where it needs to be.
That's exactly what I'm doing for today's session. Just only micros.
Yeah, yep. Because I think we could start to see some movement, man. That was a kind of a muted, like, initial first couple of minutes, really aggressive crack to the upside, and then now the potential to come lower here. So I'm looking for
there it is. That just tapped me out of the rest of that trade. So nice catch there. If you guys got a trim, or if you guys just clean cut there at that 26K, we could see this begin to pop now that it tested that 50 again. But again, who knows?
Yeah, this is looking pretty weak, man. I think we could see that rollover here and a little bit of a correction after FOMC, after unemployment. We often do kind of get that larger move, and YM definitely yesterday put a really, really low volume, choppy back and forth, tight range in. Not unexpected to see it start to move today. I don't know that we need to have a huge day on it, but usually the market doesn't just kind of float around and do nothing. Totally expected ahead of FOMC yesterday. Not a whole lot out of it during the conference at all. So I am interested to see where we go here, man. Not quite enough. Didn't pull back up to VWAP on this one yet. Back down around the lows. Yeah, 951. Still pretty early in the session. I'm gonna wait to see if we can get a test. I'm looking around the 250s, 49,250s on YM for a potential short. This would be more of a continuation play, obviously. I would be not trading a breakout like breaking out of the bottom. It would kind of be from the middle of the range. Let me pull this back up here just to let you guys know what I'm looking at. Looking for a continuation short, right? We cracked to the upside. Sellers rip this thing lower. We did take this low right here. We're not breaking out just yet. So I'd be looking at kind of this break and retest for an entry, right? This type of movement where we pop to the upside. I don't look to take the breakout here, waiting for a pullback towards VWAP, which is right here, and then look to short that, right, for the move back down. Would allow me structure like this. Again, I'm classifying this as more of a continuation type of trade because I'm not trading for a reversal up here, right, or a long reversal down there. Thesis is that we break and go lower, so we're getting close here. Getting close here. I'm gonna look to take this one, guys. Minis. This is gonna be the question. Risk structure. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to run a micro trade on this.
It's just heavily volatile. I personally myself, I don't see minis happening, especially with how volatile we've been. One of my measures that I like to do is just running what's called an ATR, an average true range, and then basing it on whatever time frame you typically like to use, right? So off of that information on a 2 minute, so every single 2 minutes, we're seeing an average move of 34 points occurring. So
getting some fast movement on there. Yeah, for anybody in chat, I think it's an absolutely great tool. It's not a measure of, it's not a predictive tool as much as it is really focused on volatility, right? So if you watch average true range, especially on the same time frame, day in and day out, you get a really good feel. And when it jumps up really aggressively, it's a clear indication to size down. You're going to have to widen out stops and targets if you want to maintain some consistency. If you want to get your stops above and below key levels of structure, or just for the most part maintain some structural consistency. If not, what I do is be just a little bit twitchy with the measurement tool here on TradingView Project X, where I know, hey, I'm typically going to want to stop outside of this session range, probably by a few points. I really don't even want to be right here. If I'm looking at a retest of VWAP or even like the 250s, right? In order to do that, I'm talking about a wide stop here, looking at the 15-minute on YM, what I'm usually trading off of. I'm not going to be able to do that with minis unless I'm comfortable taking on, significantly more from a dollar amount. All right, here we go, back up to the
looking long here, guys. Let's see if we can catch a move. So we got equal lows right there, and kind of just trading off of significant areas once again. So still using that previous month high, that CE as my confluence here. But moving, I'm acting as if it's like intraday drawdown. I'm like dragging my SL immediately into profits as soon as they do come, because I know that if this thing is wrong, I'm wrong quick. And I mean, that's kind of what I like to instill in a lot of the people that join my stream is you want to be able to know that you're wrong quick, right? So cut your losers as fast as possible, but let your winners run, obviously.
Yep, I love that. I'm sitting patient on this one, man. Getting close for a potential short. I'd like to get a stop outside of this, and I'd like to be over VWAP, which we're testing right now for this pullback. Yeah, this could be interesting, man.
There's the 50 again, guys. So I am currently up 30 points, which is total of 80 now for this current session. And I'm going to take my I say trim as I clean cut that, obvious. User error, guys, user error. I believe if we reclaim over this 50, the trade is still valid. I just have fat fingers sometimes.
Let's see. Yeah, man, I'm
classic for real, Zulu.
Curious to see what we do here, man. I'm waiting on the short, but this is interesting, man. I think we are going to break out from this. I don't see us sitting here all damn day. I'm really curious to see if we're just going to come right back through this. Yeah, I'm taking this one short. I'm going to run this short 7 micros. Going to allow me a stop above this high. Let me pull my chart back up. Yeah, I think I'm either going to be right or wrong pretty quick here. I think this is either going to be a pullback before a continuation lower, or we're going to come right back through this high to the upside. Let me go ahead and pull my chart quick. You guys know I trade from a little bit of a higher time frame perspective, maybe than Ace, who's scalping away, cleaning up back and forth on this. But 15-minute chart pulled up here. I'm looking at this as a potential continuation of the downside. I think if we do start to break this session low, come back down towards prior day low. Let me pull up my marked up chart. This could be something pretty clean, right? If we do come right back through the high, I'm dead wrong. I think we're pushing higher, turning this into a bullish day, but I'm comfortable taking this one. Pop to the upside, break a session low, pull back to VWAP, and then continuation of the downside potential, right? Not waiting for a breakout of the low or a breakout of the high, so I am involved in the middle of this range of the day, which is a little bit dicey. I'm only able to get a stop, just outside of the highs of the session, high of day. So, if we do have to test up here a couple more times, it would pop my stop before potentially continuing. But I get an invalidation point, right? I think if we do this now, right, if we push to the upside, come back down, take out the lows, and then come back down through the highs, we're either going to put a crazy back and forth expansion day in, but more than likely, I'm just dead wrong, or we're pushing the upside. But if we don't do that, right, and what I'm aiming for here, which is this move right here, break, push to the upside, right? Take out stops, take out some liquidity, crack lower really aggressively on some volume, declining cumulative volume delta across really all of these. Retest VWAP here, right, all the way in here, and then continue lower. Beautiful move to the downside. And I think this is one that I'd hold on to. I don't think I'm just going to go for a break of lows. I think if we are going to make a decision to move lower today, we could be looking at something pretty nice here. So that's my play. Again, running this one on micros, size down a little bit, get a stop outside of the high. So be cautious of volatility for sure. Use an ATR like Ace was talking about if you're not going to measure things out yourself quickly, because when the market starts moving like this, it can quickly. You can quickly find yourself in a position where you've taken on way more risk than you want. You've taken on, just way too big of a loss, and it can easily be avoided if you just size down quickly, if you position size according to the market. So awesome, dude. So you caught the caught 2 trades off the open here, man. Very nice on NQ, moving quick. And is she selling back off, coming back down to the downside here?
She is still selling off, yeah, and it was off of a lot of my crucial levels, which gives me that higher time frame analysis to essentially say that this thing just wants to continue. So if we don't go retest that area where it's like, hey, let me just test liquidity down here real quick, and then pops back into my levels where she wants to move sideways, then this thing is just going to continue to flush, to which my next levels to this downside is right here, which is your previous week high, guys, here at 850. Or 845, and then from 845 we got 800, and then from 800, beautiful extension all the way down to 719, 700 area. So another potential 150 points.
Yep. I'm looking at YM putting lows of the day in, lows of the session in here, not lows of the day. I'll come back to my screen real quick. Nice reaction off of the level that I entered on. I can't say a bad entry here. Break and retest. I saw somebody ask in the chat where my stop is. I'm up at 49, 490 for a stop. Again, I run my stuff pretty wide on the 15-minute, about 50 points. Yeah, getting a nice flush to the downside here, man.
Yep, there it is. There's that 800 I was talking about, guys. Could not hold on that previous week high and just slid to the bottom of her range.
Let's take a look, man. This thing is moving quick. Yeah, I'm gonna hang on to this one, guys. Just as a trade management note for this one that I'm in here, showing me almost $700 of profit. Where are we at point wise? Yeah, almost 200 points of profit here on YM. I'm gonna hang on to this one, man. On another day, I'm clipping this. I'm just gonna take my quick win. I'm going to leave risk on here because I believe if we break, this could turn into something really, really nice. Here comes a little bit of discretion, right? You've saw me take some trades off pretty quick this week. We've been really choppy. We're starting to move. We got some volume. We got some momentum. That doesn't mean I know what's going to happen next. It doesn't mean the market's going to sell off. We could easily turn back. And again, this is a problem area, right? We're outside of this high volume node. We are pushing towards, lows of day, lows of the session, lows of yesterday. We've rejected here multiple times. Come back over to YM, which I have marked. The more conservative move is to just take profit, say, hey, nice catch off of VWAP. We sold off almost 200 points, be done for the day. I'm going to hold on to this one, potentially allow this to come back up. I want to see this thing break. I think if it does, we could violently move lower. So again, that opportunity is not there every day. It's not the way that I'm going to hold my trades every day. But today I am. I would prefer to allow this to come back on me, potentially be a loser, because I don't see another opportunity, right? I don't want to be long here. If we push lower, I have no opportunity for another short. I got my short off the middle of this, stop above the highs a day. If this is going to be a bearish day to the downside, I want to capitalize on that. But I will note, running, close to 200 points in profit. This is a spot to take profit. If you caught something along with that, I don't think this is a bad spot, right? This is a potential support zone. But for me, I'm going to hold on to this one. I want to see this break through. So that's going to be my trade management on this current one, guys.
Love it.
We're going to diamond hands this one. NQ, yeah, man, NQ still pushing lower here. This is looking pretty ugly. Almost
She's
everything
violent.
Everything on my TradingView watch list is red. Almost every stock that I'm watching is red across the board. That's looking pretty ugly here, man. We're gonna see.
She is wild. I still think she's bearish. I'm gonna be honest. She cracked a lot of those key levels, and all I can really see is downside right now.
Let's see. Chat, you guys going wild. Orb traders printing today for sure.
There we go.
Nate, close to max profit on these two combines off the orb. Low short. Very nice, dude. What a dump. Microsoft down 11%. Dang. Yep. Pam took my win at previous day low. Beautiful. Beautiful. There you go, right? Pam was short YM. Very nice. Nothing wrong with that, right? I'm taking on, the risk of allowing a winning trade to come back to hold for a larger profit on a day like today. Again, it's not always the smart move. The more conservative is to take it off at a key level of structure. But I'm gonna use some discretion and hang on to this bad boy. Andrew says data. What do we have? We had some data released 10 a.m. Let's see. Chat, you guys are awesome. 87 people, only 12 likes. Run the likes up, boys. What are we doing here? Everybody smash the like button. What's
going on?
You guys do whatever you want to do. I always say that on the stream. Smash the like button, subscribe if you're finding value. But at the end of the day, do whatever you guys want to do, man. I'll be trading live here, streaming, having guests on like we have today, crushing the markets, and having fun whether you guys want to like or not. But if you find value, man, smash the like button. We'll run this bad boy up. So yeah, I'm watching this trade again, finding some buyers off that support zone, struggling to break through the 49,000 evens. I'm gonna hang on to this one. This is one that I'm gonna hang on to. If we just want to have that painful day where we come through the highs, I'm cool with that. I'm gonna allow it to be.
Oh man, call me crazy. But if this
reclaims,
then my longs are still long. If it reclaims, my long is still long, guys. And it only needs to reclaim like 24 at this point. And there it is. Testing. Let's see if we get to execute. Push down straight off of that. Staying a little patient.
So you got some key levels on the chart. Just to quiz you while you're on here, cleaning up, sir. Man. You got some key levels on the chart. You're essentially waiting for breaks and holds above, breaks and holds below, as a way to enter in. Am I somewhat on?
That is 1,000% correct. All targets are based off of criteria. So for me, everything. We like to say things are discretionary, correct? But a lot of things have to also be objective. Such as, where do you view PTs? Are you doing it just based off an R to R? Does that really make sense? Because that trade could keep on going. Or are you using actual statistics and levels to actually support where you need a trim, where you need a scale, where you need a clean close, when you need to drag up SL, all that kind of good stuff. So Right here that you guys see on my screen, I know the other one is insanely noisy. It's just what I like. I'm neurodivergent, so I am insanely ADHD, had 60 milligrams of Vyvanse every single day. So I like the noise. The noise to me is nice and clean. But whenever I tell people, I say, hey, a clean chart where you can clearly and precisely see exactly what you want to trade, that's going to be your best move. This works for me, right? But again, trading is subjective in terms of from person to person. So the way that I might trade is going to be completely different from the way that Zach trades, even though a lot of the theory might be the same.
Yep. It's a good way to put it. And again, like how much, just like you said, how much you like on your chart even, right? Somebody might come on here and say, hey, dude, that chart is super duper noisy. The next person might say, I can't use anything on that chart. There's not enough. Like I had MLT Eric on the show here, and it's a raw chart. It's essentially just price, and maybe he's got like two lines, like two levels. That's it. Then I have somebody like, I'll have somebody like Drysdale on, and he's got a 4x4 chart, and on each one of those, he's got, VWAP, standard deviation bands, multiple levels. He's got a whole lot more, right? There's a lot overlaid. And again, it's like there's not one right or wrong way to do it. You got to find what works best for you, the information that you could perceive, because for some people real quick, it's going to be information overload. They're not able to make a decision. And then others are, we're processing this info. We're using it to our advantage. I really want to know where, VWAP is, for example. I want to know where key moving averages are, or I want to have these multiple different levels that I'm able to pay attention to. So, no one right or wrong way to do it. But yeah, man, clean approach to the markets. Key levels, waiting for pushes above or belows, reclaims, holds above for your confirmation to get in and out, like you said, applying some flexibility where you can be discretionary. You could say, hey, I got a overall bias to the downside. We're selling off on higher time frames. I'm looking short, but at the same time, I'm going to wait for this level to be taken out, hold below, and that's going to be my essentially when to pull the trigger on this trade.
Exactly.
So, super sweet, man.
And hey, if there's any Prop Hub members inside of here, make sure to throw my boy Zach a nice subscribe while you're already here. Might as well. Also, just follow him on all socials. Real Deal Zach.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, man. No, it's awesome to have you on, dude. Super awesome to have you on.
I appreciate it.
Right back at it. We got some big numbers putting up today for sure, man. Across Kick, X, and YouTube. For those that don't know, if you're new, I'm here streaming live every damn day, 9:15 a.m. Eastern, 100% free. Doing more of what you see on here right now. Guys like Ace of Trades, heavy hitters in the trading space. And everybody in between, right? I've had guys on here that are 6 months in to, over 10-year veterans. So I love doing this, man. It's awesome to get new perspectives, different people on, different styles and approaches to the markets, and be able to have conversations like this. So if you guys are enjoying it, feel free, hit like, hit subscribe. And just to go right back to it, if you guys want to check out Ace of Trades, that's his IG right there. Prop Hub, is it just straight up Prop Hub on YouTube?
Prop Hub Trading.
Prop Hub Trading.
There we go.
There you
yes.
Go. Awesome, man. Awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna show my chart quick. I'm still sitting in this one, guys. I'm watching it on YM because I hopped over to micros and I don't have my micro chart marked up. But here is my trade. This was an entry right here. So I can't complain on my entry point. Now, whether or not this works out is going to be up to the trading gods, but I'm short 7 micros from 49 to 18, stop at 49,490. I'm holding this one. I'm holding for a continuation of the downside, a break of prior day's low, break of this daily low, and really a nice continuation. I'd prefer to allow this one to be, a break even, a loss in pursuit of that bigger profit on a day like today. I think I'm either going to be dead wrong here. We come back through the high, and this is a bullish day, or we get that nice continuation down. So I'm hanging on to this one, guys. That's my game plan. If you're short something like this on a move back to an area of interest like this, there is this opportunity which we got happening right now where we bounced 100 points off this low. Pam took some nice profits. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the way I'm structuring this one, I'm looking for that larger move to the downside, and something I'm I'm going to hold on to. But we're getting that fight from buyers, starting to get a little bit of a push to the upside. We got some volume. I almost like it. Again, if we bounce here really aggressively, maybe come back up to VWAP, shake everybody out, and then come back through the low, I'm really going to like that for a move to the downside. But this is a key decision-making point for me looking at YM. I think we're either going to stay within this choppy back and forth range here, or we're going to decide to roll over today and start to move to the downside. We're going to be past FOMC, past unemployment, some of the fundamental, the data that we've needed to get past. We've got earnings in on a lot of the tech stocks, and maybe the market wants to pull back a little bit. So I'm gonna see if we can't catch that today. That's my thesis on this.
I'm laughing over here. I'm giving my my team in office just a hard time moving my charts like no tomorrow because of my ADHD. And he's like, "Hey, can you keep it still for the recording?" I'm like, "I can't."
Yeah, man, you got an awesome setup there. It's great. You got the whole space. I can see behind you. You got the whole line. That's all new for this year, right?
This is new. Yeah. So we started whole production here just end of November, and we hard launched in December. What an insane ride it's been already. And yeah, got two incredible guys right beside me who make sure that everything gets ran smoothly, from recordings to editing, streams, making sure that obviously you guys are good on your end, whoever's watching, and they're incredible. I appreciate them.
Dude. Epic, man. Now, are you guys...
I'm a good trader. I'm just not a good tech guy, you know?
There you go, right? I say that often. I'm a better trader than I am like streamer, because I'll have the same stuff go on. All of a sudden, everybody be like, dude, there's a crazy echo. I could hear you twice. I'm like, all right, let me figure this out. It's just me back here. But that's awesome. Now, are you guys streaming every day as well, or frequently throughout the week?
Every single day as well. New York Open, always.
Epic, dude.
And I'm trying to do something for Globex. I do put out alerts for Globex, but in terms of streams, it's just our New York Open as of right now. It's my bread and butter. Why get rid of that?
Right. I run the same play, man. It's cool to do something for the overnight session, because you're in.
Ooh, there's the slide.
Coming towards this low. Chat, we're putting the high watermark for my trade in. YM trading 49,030s right now. Seeing if we can't come lower. Looks like ES is sliding as well. Heavy on the CVD, negative 7,000. Yeah, man, this is going to be interesting. I think we got decision-making point coming up. Either we're going to turn this into a really nice down day. Potential for chop, or we bounce. I don't know. I don't know that we bounce here though. But these got room to go. Just from a point perspective on something like YM here, we got room to go. This is not exceeding an average daily range. We could easily move a few hundred points to the downside without really doing anything crazy at all. We are really just below the open here. 0.2% down on the day. NQ down 1.5%, a little over 1.5%. ES approaching 1% down. So, nothing too crazy from the open. These still have room to go. So I'm interested to see. I do take note of that as well, guys. Like as I'm trading, for example, I'm in a trade like this. Again, I'm in MYM today. If I'm in a trade like this and I'm saying, hey, I want this big move to the downside, I'm going to hold my trade. That's great. Is what I'm looking for reasonable to expect out of the market, given just rough average daily ranges, average session ranges? Am I short on a breakout down here, and we've already extended maybe on another day, talking about measuring out volume and volatility rather, we're already down, 1,000 points, or we've already put, an 800 or 900 point range in on the day. Maybe it's not reasonable for me to say, I want to break of this low for another 400 points, right? That would be like a huge movement. It can happen, but maybe a little bit less likely to happen. On a day like today, where I'm holding for an extension, right, pushing through the low to the downside, I think this is reasonable. I don't think we would really have to do anything crazy to come down here and give us, a 650, 700 point move. Definitely larger than what we've seen the last couple days here, but something like yesterday, super tight. Without even pulling up average daily ranges, average session ranges, which you could get from something like Edgeful, other data providers, easily getting see we got an 800 point range here, easily getting above the 500-600 points in YM, and in fact more common than not if you just look at the last few days worth of data here, over 500 points, over 500 points. This was a pretty nice move here for a pretty big day, almost 1,000 points. So something to take into consideration. In a trade like this, I think it's important because I'm not always shooting for that. I'm shooting for like a back to VWAP move, back to an area of high volume. And in that case, I don't need it to go any further than it already has. I don't need the the current range of the day to extend. On a trade like this, I do. And again, I think it's important to think about that. I don't usually yap too much about that because I'm usually not in this style of trade. But if I am, and I have targets, to the downside, I'm looking for some move to the downside. We don't want to just arbitrarily hold all day. And, if you're in one, I think being aware of how far we've already moved, where are you potentially looking at taking profit? Is that something reasonable to expect out of the market given the current context, right? Also, like, we could be in the middle of Trump tariff talk and, YM is putting in over 1,000 point daily range for the last 7 days. Maybe it's much more reasonable to expect 1,000 point move, 1,500 point move. Maybe it's around the holidays, we're putting in, 300-400 point ranges. So we're talking about ATR, average true range. I think that's a really good tool. If not, being twitchy with, your measurement tool can give you a really good feel of what's going on throughout the day. Ace, my man, NQ still pushing the downside. You've already taken 2 W's, right? That's what we got on this stream off the bat. Where
2 W's kind of. I'm just kind of waiting to see where price goes. Nice, just sideways movement in comparison. Like, yes, that's massive moves, but at the end of the day, sideways is sideways when we're talking about our measure. So I want to see again if we could reclaim those key levels. So this right here. I like to use deviations based off of our orb. That was actually our full deviation right there at the bottom, which it tapped in perfectly. It's been flirting with the idea of reclaiming over our 618. We got a 1 minute close, which is not enough information for me. So been really waiting for a nice A+ setup to present itself, and it's just not there yet. Off of that 720 level, beautiful longs could have been taken, but just based off of today's move, I'm not gonna just get in and watch myself catch the knife.
For sure. Yeah, it's a tough one, right? Because there is a lot of opportunity. Turns out to be the cheap trade on the move back in, but it's against the grain. I just think it comes down to what your system calls for, right? Doing the same thing or something similar day in and day out. Like, I watch guys trade reversals and the chat goes, what are you doing? How could you be buying here? Well, wait for the day where that moves to the upside. Maybe it's not even half of the time that happens, but if you have something that works that way, trade it every damn day. Same thing if you're trading for continuations to the downside. When we bounce at a support zone and it rips through your stop, you look like, you don't know what you're doing. But those days where we continue to go, trend prevails, we push to the downside. So, we don't know what's going to happen on any one next trade. As we try to push this low here in YM again, trading out the 20s here, guys. This is looking interesting. But yeah, you don't know what's going to happen on any one next trade. This is the mindset that I try to hold. Always easier said than done. I have no idea what's going to happen next. I couldn't tell you if the market's going to go up or down at any given time. All I can do is approach it with some consistency. Try to find a good way to structure risk and then let the odds play out in my favor over a large sample size. It's this paradox we have to deal with as traders where we're trading with money on the line for the market to move in one direction over another. But we don't know with any real degree of certainty what's going to happen next. Otherwise, we'd remortgage our houses and put it all in the next trade. But I see you got some questions in the chat. Trader Scrooge McDuck. What a name, dude. Hey, Real Deal. Does RDF always give 60% off, regardless if you're a new trader or a new member? So current deal from Top 1 Futures. I'll throw it up on screen real quick. Hang on one second. Chatty McChat. Scrooge McDuck. Wait a minute. That's the wrong one. Dang, hang on. There we go. See, I'm a better trader than I am a streamer. 60% off all accounts for your next or first Trade of 8 account. After that, it is 40% off. So with Top 1 Futures, the deal they're running right now is 60% off your first or next account, is to help out with that transition to Trade-Evate, NinjaTrader, TradingView. Past that, it is 40% off. They also had a positive rule change. They widened out the max loss limit from 3% to 4%. If you guys want to check it out, link down below. Code RDF if you want to check that one out. Feel free, guys. Feel free. But let's come back over. We're starting to catch a little bit of bounce in these, man. Market's trying to figure out what it wants to do today, man. Market wants to figure out if we want to come right back in on this one, right back through the middle ground, or if we're actually going to break to the downside. Buyer's not letting it go just yet, though.
Not just yet. So that's why my level as of right now, so I like to adjust based off current price. It is going to be a reclaim. So initially it was that 24.25, which is really nice because you're talking about the top of that previous structure on our lower time frame. But as of right now, even if this thing goes and reclaims 806 and less than 25, I'm okay with entering a long still there. But as of right now, no trades for me as this thing goes from 806 down to 719 aggressively and kind of just floating in between there.
Nice, dude. Nice. I like it. Caught your two off the open pretty aggressively. Do you usually find yourself trading that momentum off the open? Is that a sweet spot for you?
No, I would arguably say, like, I'm an orb trader, but I don't coin myself as an orb trader. So a lot of the setups do present itself after our 15-minute is printed, and then I do shift it if there is 10 a.m. news. But okay. I just got in, guys. But as of late, I would say around like by 10:30, I'm usually done. So I'm approaching that cap soon.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you're not really right off the open, waiting for that 15-minute, but you're also done pretty quick. You're not the trade all day trader, right? The sit through the middle of the day, the lunch hour for NYSE. Nice.
Exactly.
That's nice. Yeah, chat, you guys are funny. Someone in chat asked what Globex was. I think it looks like your team answered. They said, I want to hear it in that beautiful voice Ace has, though. So you got some fans in here for sure, Ace. The radio voice.
Love it.
Let's see.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, someone says, took that trim right at the 719 level Ace mentioned. Beautiful. You guys are hitting some bangers with Ace's levels on your chart. Love to hear that, man.
I'm about to get, I just got invalidated right there. So nice and quick. I'm not going to try to drag my SL or anything like that. Invalidation is invalidation for me, and I'm just going to stick true to that. So there's one L on the board, guys.
There you go, guys. Real live trading. Like we said, Ace moving super fast on these, called out two winners, and that's part of it, right? Got to catch an L every once in a while.
Exactly.
I like that one. YM was doing the same, a little bit of a bounce, and I think you waited. It wasn't the knife catch at the bottom. You have multiple candles moving to the upside. You got buyers putting up a fight, but not just that aggressive movement just yet. So part of the game, man. Part of the game.
All part of the game. And it's funny because I would still take that same setup if it were to present itself in the next 5 minutes.
There you go. There you go. Now, for this is always the hot button topic. And I don't mean to quiz you, man, but I love to ask everybody these questions.
Of course.
For risk to reward, are you running anything fixed? Do you find yourself thinking in terms of risk to reward, or are you more of a trader that says, "Hey, I'm going to get in, and validation point, goes where it needs to go, and I'm going to take what the market gives me. I'm going to adjust with market generated information."
Of course. I mean, that's an insanely beautiful question. What I would say is it's not completely fixed. So I'm not saying like, oh, every single trade I'm running a 3R. To me, that doesn't really make sense. I'm going to base it off of where are my given targets, and then based off of my target, where does my risk need to be based on any lower moves. So if it were to go retest, and there's that long, guys, once again, trying to push itself in. Sorry, I know I'm being quizzed right now, but
no.
Nice little push right here. Let's just see if she holds this time around. Still off of my golden ratio on the 15-minute extension, guys. So I would love to see where price goes. 25. I mean, it's baby moves right there off of entry. Such baby moves, but it's I'm not going to say it's a good trim point, but it makes sense for a first initial move. And especially since like risking 25, making 18. Yes, it's a negative R, but there's so much potential for this thing to go, especially if you're on micros and trimming away.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, we're watching one play out, right? That, answering that question right there, waiting for key area of interest, waiting for that entry point, structuring risk dynamically, right? Not a fixed risk to reward. Thinking in terms of what the market has to give you for that individual day. You're going to have trades that present a really big risk structure with a lot of upside opportunity. You're going to have trades that maybe are still a really good trade, really valid trade. But just a tighter or a negative risk to reward, which I don't think is inherently.
What's your take on negative R? I asked Tanner yesterday, and he shit on it.
yeah. He's a high risk to reward trader primarily. Like
right.
I've had him on stream. Like he's somebody that takes the same trade over and over and over, or a similar trade over and over. He's taken multiple L's. He runs a very low win rate. High R multiple. For me, I think it depends, man. I think each one. I did a whole segment in Tampa last year on risk reward. I think it depends. I don't think there's any. Yeah, I don't think there's
all
any
out there
one,
again, guys.
Yeah. I don't think there's any one right or wrong way to do it. I think we're all up against the same battle, which is creating a positive expected value, which is a combination of win rate and risk to reward. Ooh, why I'm breaking lows here. So I'm gonna come back to this question because I'll give you my hot take on it, man. My overall is that I don't have a favorite. I don't have something that says, hey, one thing's better than the other. You should or shouldn't do something. I think, the extremes of that, the extremes of risk to reward and win rate, operating with a really, really low win rate, high risk to reward, or really, really negative R multiple in general, and a really high win rate can get really difficult and present their own unique challenges. But as a whole, I think it comes down to the trader. So just to yap about this trade before I go even further on that one, for me, I'm pretty balanced. I find myself, I run pretty wide stops like you're seeing on this. I hold my trades all damn day. Not always, but I'll take.
I love to see that.
I'll take trades off, when it makes sense. Like, so for me today on this one, I'm holding this one. There's a really good chance that this just comes all the way back on me. On another day, right? Maybe I got $952 worth of risk on here. And I'm taking a trade off at 700 or 600 when we first tapped this level, based on the market, based on what the market has for me that day. Maybe on another day I'm holding for a 2R, not as common, but I'm more flexible with it. But yeah, watching this, guys, to the downside here, I'm gonna hang on to this one. This is the thesis that we break and go. Again, we're not out of the woods here. I don't think this is, lights out for YM. We certainly could just be sweeping current low of day right here before coming right back in, but we're not doing that just yet. This is still the danger zone, but I'm hanging on to this one. Again, my thesis holds. I think if we continue this move like we are right now, this could turn into something pretty nice. Potential targets on this one. Don't want to hold it all day. But man, I think if we really start to go this next area of volume, yeah, here we go. Well over 200 points in profit on this one. Again, I'm $1,000 in profit on 7 micros here on YM. Oh man, yeah, a really nice hold would be down into the 48,700s. That's a pretty big movement here.
There's that 719 once again, guys. Absolute beautiful move off of that.
NQ still doing its thing.
Still doing its thing, ranging, but again, that range is massive. And I didn't take it the first time off that 719, especially with, again, I like to see, is there anything that supports just one confluence, right? And because you're using levels, you really want to make sure that you do have multiple confluences here. So with that full standard deviation, you do have your previous week POC there, your monthly POC right underneath, right under it, which are all massive key factors for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to map out some potential areas here. Here's my 2 areas. I think I'm gonna go with a little bit more conservative on this one, and take it right into the 48,900s that we're approaching. This is what I wanted to hold for, a break. If it was going to be a hold all damn day, it'd be all the way down past the 700s. You know, this is the next level. I think if we are going to move considerably lower, this could be the next spot that we move to. But I think I'm going to take my W as we test this next high volume node here. Let me come back over to MYM. Give me my take profit. There we go. I'm gonna take that one, guys, for $1,051. Yeah. Here's why. And as I'm kind of contradicting myself a little bit here, this is the next move. So as I'm in the trade, right, caught a W. Can't complain about over $1,000 with some micros today, man. Nice move, man. Got to have you back on stream, Ace. We're crushing it this morning. Some wins off the open. Some a couple L's, but part of the game.
All
guys,
part of it.
For me, just to recap it quick, for anybody that was watching that one, I'll go over it real quick because I did hold on to it for a while there. But for take profit levels, this is going to be the area on my chart to watch to say, hey, you had conviction to hold this thing for a decent move all the way outside of here. I'll actually frame out how many points that was. I think probably close to 300 points. If I was going to hold for the next movement lower, it would be all the way down. This is really zoomed out on a 1 hour chart to try to get this, but this is now looking for a big movement to the downside, the 48,686s. So I'm going to watch that level to see, like, how does that come into play today? Does it come into play today? Do we bounce here? Do we come back in? But I'm happy with that one. I'll frame it out real quick for you guys. Just saw what we had go on here. Watching the 15-minute chart off of the open. This is current day. I don't need that one. Watching this 15-minute chart off the open, we cracked to the upside really aggressively, sold off, and then you can't really see it on the 15. I don't trade the 1 minute, but I'm going to come over here just to show you where I got in. We came all the way back down to the low, and I took this right here on a retest of VWAP. This is my trade from today. Right here on a retest of VWAP. Really not waiting for any kind of crazy confirmation or anything nuts. Stop loss up above high of the day. And there's my exit point right down there for a nice W. Something right in here was the trade. So again, break and retest continuation style, right? Where I'm not trading from the extreme. Like a reversal from here would be getting short on this push up. A reversal from down here would be getting long on this push aggressively to the downside. Again, I do think this could be even more of a beauty, holding this thing all the way down here. But I'm going to take my profit in a little bit safer spot. I think safer would be right here. Safer would even have been right in here as we found this. I waited for a break. We cracked these lows by another 128 or so points. I don't need the market to give me another 250 points today. I'm gonna take that one as it is. But I'm curious to see, right? Always, I think, important to mark up your chart, go back and review and say, hey, like, what does this thing look like? What was your, farther out target? Did we reach that today? But can't complain about $1,000 in the Top 1 Futures pre-live account. No complaints, man. Well played for sure, Zach. W, absolutely. Prior single print sitting right under that NQ monthly POC. Bet those are clean.
Yeah.
Let's see. Try code RDF. Nah, Juan, you're never calling me out, brother. Just making sure. Yeah. So, Juan, have you gotten 60% off of a Top 1 Futures account yet? Because code RDF is going to give you 60% off, or any of the badass codes right now are going to give you 60% off your first or next account from Trade-of-8, NinjaTrader, TradingView with Top 1 Futures. 40% after that. 40% after that. So let me know, brother. But if you're struggling with it, if something's not showing up, shoot me a message. If you're not in the Discord, I'll throw the link in the Discord real quick. Shoot me a message. I'm happy to make sure everybody gets what they should get. But 1,000% should still be active. 60% off is the current deal with Top 1. First or next account, right? So it's not for all of them. So NQ pushing lows here as well, trying to move this thing lower. Let's see, man. Let's see.
My Trade-of-8 actually, mine's not loading, but the rest of the boys is completely good. But mine is in a circle of death right now.
Uh-oh.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm actually in a trade right now, but this thing just will not open. You guys can see it's literally just circling.
Oh no.
And let's see.
Oh no,
I'm trying
we
to
got
clear cache.
maybe
Am I finally getting it up?
carryover from yesterday, man. That could be that could be pretty gnarly here. Yeah, I'm still the laggard on Project X with the one this main prop account that I'm trading. But anybody else having issues on Tradeovate? Let us know. Hey,
Able
it's
to
top one.
finally get on.
Nice. It's all falling crazy. Yeah, man. Yeah, we got some red today for sure. I'm watching some of the alerts go off for some of the higher time frame swing trades that I got running in the stock market are red today for sure. I had some stuff showing some nice green, some still showing some nice green, but I got some ones that are down pretty heavy double digit percents. Gonna have to see how those treat me for the rest of the for the rest of the week into next week.
Yeah, it's like lagging.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, man. Is Top One Futures related to Top One Trader? Yes. Top One Trader was the Forex and CFD prop firm. Same founders, same guys behind the deal with Top One Futures. Snag 60% off. Thanks, Zach. You know it. Had that happened, Pam says, I had that happen. I messaged them. They had to do something in the background with the account. I migrated Project X to Tradeovate. Gotcha. Refreshed. Yeah.
Fully refreshed, cleared cache, like using incognito, and it looks like I can finally get on. So we shall see.
Nice. Yeah, man. Yesterday, I again, I'm not on Tradeovate for the most part just yet, but I did see that issue with Tradeovate. That sucked to see. I think, like, you know, for anybody out there listening in, it is part of the game, right? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be nice to one platform or mean to another. I try to be pretty unbiased in that, although I am partnered and affiliated with certain firms that make me biased. But I will say every platform to some degree at some point or another is going to have an issue. What I look to see is, like, what are the frequency of those issues and what is the severity? So, you know, when we started to have issues on Project X, for example, you know, the first one or two, I'm like, okay, you know, part of the game, right? This is software, you know, AWS goes down or something major goes down, like everything's going to have an issue at a certain point. Same with Tradeovate yesterday. Do these issues become so prevalent that it's like every single week without fail we have a full trading day missed? Or is it something that's, you know, happening once in a blue moon, bounces back, everybody's taken care of? So with Project X, unfortunately, and I was a big fan of Project X, I was a Project X maxi, that continued. It really melted down and started to implode the end of last year into this year. I don't see that, and I don't expect it at all with Tradeovate and Tradeovate Prop. They are a heavy hitter in the space, major player, a lot of longevity, right? You know, but let's see. I think that's always the always the way to go. Like, let's see how, you know, this potentially is something that continues or doesn't continue. But, you know, as a whole, every platform to a certain degree at some point in time is going to have an issue. You know, you hope it's not frequent. You hope it's not super severe. You hope that it's handled well, you know, from the associated parties. Like, you know, maybe you get some help after the fact. But, you know, so I wouldn't freak out if you're on Tradeovate, you know, essentially is where I'm going with this. So yeah, man, still pushed in the downside. YM floating around the lows, trading 48,886 right now. NQ just continuing to sell off. It is approaching. Oh, it's over down 2% on the day. ES over 1% on the day. YM not too much relative to its open. Just over 0.5% down on the day, but definitely rolling over here on these U.S. indices. For those of you guys that hopped on late, Ace has caught a couple W's and a couple invalidations. Some really beautiful clean trades, though. And breaking down for me, I'm 1 W on this. I don't see myself getting involved again. This is my unmarked MYM chart. This is actually the exact trade. Stop is not my exact point. I'd have to go back and see where it is, but pulled it up real quick. This was my entry on this one to catch a little over $1,000 on 7 micros. So I can't complain. I can't complain about 300 points in profit on a pretty short trade for me, because I'm somebody who will like sit in my trade for hours if it has to be. This thing's still looking pretty weak. Like I marked out on YM. If I was gonna hang on to this one for forever or scale out or do anything crazy, I'd be interested to see what happens all the way down at this next area of interest for me. And again, it's coming off of price action, market structure, and if my volume profile loads, there we go. This high volume node down here. So we shall see.
We're finally on, Zach. We're finally back in.
Nice.
And
nice.
Man, it is printing. So had that order in from that monthly POC. As soon as we were able to just execute off of that, running the stops above the previous week POC, so 20 points and currently up 53. Would love to see this thing continue to slide, just following the direction. And ultimate target would be 109, but actually I'm about to close off right here on that straight to funded that I've been trading with you today's session, because that is actually my PDPT.
Nice. So did you actually get locked out with a trade running on this one?
Yep.
Oh man,
that's what they like to do to me.
There you go, locked out with it running on Tradeabate, but we're hitting a profit target on this one. And luckily, no, not luckily, because you're in the direction of the trade, right? You got orders in. Beautiful trade to the downside, continuation, and still going, man. So awesome to see, man. Awesome to see.
And chat right there, guys, at 610 to 600, that's going to be a nice little level for me to be working with. So taking a few off here on my eval. And cool.
Nice.
Beauty. What a session we've had, Zach.
Yeah, man. So, hey, man, take us through this one, because this is a beautiful one. Obviously, trading to the downside, looking for the shorts. Like we were talking about, you got a couple key levels. What does your entry usually look like? Again, don't mean to quiz you, but these are all awesome trades, and I try to squeeze as much from everybody that hops on. So you got a key level there, right at that entry point. Are you like entering right as price breaks below? Are you entering on break and retest? Are you entering on a close below? Is it just discretionary? Like, hey, I'm going to wait to see what happens when we get down here before I pull the trigger, because I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm using a little bit of intuition. What does that like hitting the buy or sell button look like for you?
I mean, another beautiful question. I like to always give credit where credit's due, because there's so many. I've been on so many streams, and some of them are just asking me like literal chat GPT questions where it's like, man, you could have just found this question anywhere. Because that correlates directly to the trade, it's literally perfect. I did try out that 719, popped up 30 points. I don't know if you guys saw that. Which was nice. Ended up moving my SL, so hit a break even. So we got 1 loss, 2 wins, and then 1 invalidation. Essentially, it did go up 30 points. Was looking for a lot more, didn't get it, and we were still dealing with those crucial levels underneath 719. So again, bottom of the range, our standard deviation of our 15-minute orb, our previous week point of control, and then our monthly point of control. As soon as it's under all of those, we now know that directional bias has switched, right? So where we could potentially bounce is now a bidirectional move to the downside. So using that as a nice breakout point, I did wait this time around for the break and retest, but in most cases, I'd rather be in the move than not in the move. So for me, if the breakout was absolutely massive to a point where it's like we're already close to my first PT, then I'm going to wait for a retest. But if it has just broken, such as this move right here, so my level was 690, the breakout happened all the way with a close of 670, I'll take the additional 20 points and then adjust my sizing to reflect that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Awesome breakdown. It's It's sweet to see somebody really just chopping it up right on the 2 minute chart, man, and awesome flexibility, right? Like, you know, again, I appreciate the credit where it's where you're throwing it back for asking questions, man. But I always like to just quiz everybody on what they got going on for the day. Like you tried the longs, so you took shorts on this, you're taking longs on this, caught two winners. Took longs out of that area, which looked like a great spot, honestly, for me. I'm sitting short, and at that point, I'm like, damn, bro, I'm going to get faded, and he's going to cook me on the way back up. But, took longs twice, got invalidated, and then, you wait, we get down below lows, and then you're able to be flexible with that bias and say, hey, you know what? Market's moving to the downside. I'm getting short on this. I think that's such a power play, man. It really is. Not to give you credit, it's just credit where it's due, right? Not to try to throw it back. Like
Right.
it's something that I think that so many traders struggle with, right? Like if you're long bias on the day, or maybe you've tried longs a couple times, you just want to keep hammering it. You want to make the market right. You don't want to miss the move back up. You don't want to get short, and then of course it goes and stops you out on the long side. So, dude, beautiful play to the downside after getting validated a couple times on the longs to capture what the market was doing. So awesome to see, dude. Really, really awesome to see.
Yeah. And I mean, even off of that level, guys, that I said 600 to 610 is going to be that crucial level. We're talking about the end of the node there on a higher time frame. So when we're dealing with our 15-minute, that brings us all the way backdated to last week. So we'll say our Wednesday 21st session high. We're dealing with our Globex Monday accumulation area there. So as soon as we did break, and you guys can see on my chart where that VPVR is on that 15-minute, it just aligns perfectly with where that entry criteria was.
Awesome, dude. I mean, simple stuff you're using as well as far as, levels and areas of interest, right? Volume profile, really similar to what I use as far as, key areas of interest, right? Highs and lows based off of market structure and volume profile. So it's epic. Guys, I don't mean to be ignoring anybody in the chat. I know I'm usually chatting it up with you. I see a couple comments and questions. Time pass score. We answered that one. I thought you had another one. Long silver, nice. Drop the like, guys. What did I miss? What is this dump about? Selling off, man. Selling off. Is there a code for Top One Traders? Top One Trader probably has a couple different codes, guys. I don't have one for them. I'm on the future side. Hey Zach, what do you do when you feel FOMO? Yeah. And then I do see somebody talking about tilt, so I'll get to it, man. If you hang out on here talking about psychology and blowing a couple accounts. But yeah, and maybe Ace can comment on this one as well. I think everybody feels FOMO in the market, right? Fear of missing out. We all want to be doing something, and I think it comes from two places, at least for me, for the mindset and psychology. I kind of always have these two areas that I'm trying to work on. One is the understanding of the game of probabilities we're playing, the way the market moves, and a lot of that just does come from experience of watching this stuff play out over and over and over again. But you start to recognize that it doesn't make sense to feel FOMO. It doesn't make sense to continue to trade, to overtrade, to trade when your setup's not there. If you really believe that, we don't know what's going to happen on any one next trade, and our goal is not to capture every single movement in the market, it's to operate with what is my setup, what is the opportunity, where is the good point to structure risk and to put the trade on. So it's kind of the understanding of the markets, right? And that kind of quells some of that FOMO. You just don't feel it as strongly. The second part is just building some damn discipline. It's just really, like, I've been making some more reels, guys, where I don't want to be like the grind set, like yell at you and curse on them, but like this is really what I feel. And excuse my language on this one. Build some fucking discipline. Like, build some discipline. We're here to make money. Money's on the line. A lot of us have a lot more than just the money that we're going to make on whatever sim account that we're trading on the line to make this work or not. Build some discipline around following your system, following your approach, because you're going to continue to feel that FOMO, right? The market's going to move. The market's selling off now. As I exited my trade, I did what I was supposed to do.
Target hit, by the way, guys.
There we go. I'll finish this one, man. But, so combine those two things in your inside, within trading and in your outside life, right? Are you keeping promises to yourself? Are you doing things that are building discipline in your outside life? Build some damn discipline so you can have it on the charts. And then along with that, understand the markets, understand the game of probabilities that we're playing, understand the randomness on the short term and the consistency in the long term. And those two things can come together to lower the amount of FOMO that you feel. And then as you're feeling it, because it's never going to go away completely, you create a different response to it, right? You're aware of your emotions, right? And that building discipline comes from multiple areas. It's not just running marathons or going to the gym or whatever it is. Maybe it is meditating or praying, right? Or journaling and kind of, becoming more mindful and saying, hey, dude, market's moving like crazy again. I'm getting that itch where I want to just start clicking buttons and smash order filled, order filled, order filled. I know that just blows me up. I'm going to slow down and really lock in and just wait for my setup to come. My setup's there, I'm executing. My setup's not here, I'm closing my laptop and going outside and touching grass. So those two areas, right? Always easier said than done. And also, it's going to come with time, man. It's not something, unfortunately, that we could shortcut or pay for. Being around the right people, having a really good circle that you're trading live with, or people that you're in communities with, I certainly believe can help. But if you're early in on your journey, and I'm talking early in like couple months, couple years, you're early in, you're going to have to put your hand on that stove and then watch the market play out over and over and over again. You start to understand, hey, this emotion that I'm feeling continues to come up. Let me create a different response to it because my current response doesn't make any sense at all. And then outside of that, this is really hard to do. It's very difficult to have discipline. It's very simple and straightforward, but when money's on the line and P&Ls are flashing and the market's continuing to move, it's very difficult not to continue to do stupid stuff. Do you have discipline in your outside life in any other area, or are you just a complete degenerate bum everywhere else? You're probably going to be a complete degenerate bum when you hop on the charts when money's on the line. It's way harder. So that's not to go on the whole long rant on it, man, but that's the thought. And hey, dude, Rumig, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but somebody said I blew my funded account on tilt. Last hour feels like a dream. I feel so bad now. Brother, I'm sorry to hear that. Try to be patient with yourself. What I would do personally, man, and I've been there so many times before, first off, step away. You're probably not going to do anything great for the rest of the day. You might just continue to buy accounts or go on more tilt to do anything crazy. When you come back, maybe write out what happened. Really, what was the part that triggered this? Why did you spiral? How did that happen? And then how are you going to try to prevent that for next time? What are the processes you're going to put in place? Are you going to use the lockout feature on Project X on Tradeovate? Are you going to have a rule set for yourself that you actually get serious and follow, where you're only going to allow yourself 2 back-to-back losses or 3 back-to-back losses before you call it a day? What are you going to do? You're going to have to make a change. If you don't make any change, you're going to keep doing the same thing. So take it easy on yourself, man. It sucks. It's part of the journey. Unfortunately, it repeating indefinitely should not be part of your journey. So, decide how you're going to try to handle that next time around. But Ace, man, sorry to rant, but I have to answer a couple of those questions.
No, of course.
We got TP hit on that one. Beautiful to the downside. Market's still selling off here.
Still selling off. I'm happy with my gains. It reached my target perfectly. Not much to say about that. It's still going. Like, this thing is just absolutely bearish. We'll see if it reclaims on a higher time frame. But other than that, I'm essentially finished. There was one thing that you covered that I really liked, Zach. And I think it was, I'm not trying to glaze myself or anything, but it was the fact that, like, you were trying to say, like, it was nice the fact that I didn't I didn't marry my bias.
Didn't marry that long bias. Yep.
Right, exactly. I didn't marry my long bias that I had, guys, where I was taking longs all day, and as soon as it got invalidated, switched over sides, right? And I think that's a main thing that a lot of you guys should take away here. It's the fact that, one, your first trade should be exactly the same and executed the same as your 5th trade if you do take 5 a day, right? Or if you, and again, this goes to the over trading and over leveraging, right? So if you're over trading, you already know that the attention, your mind, can only withstand around 30 to 45 minutes of a singular task at full capacity at once. Therefore, as soon as you begin to overtrade, and you're 40 trades in and you think that it's still like your first, it's actually not, subconsciously already, right? So you guys have to put yourself within that time frame window and then still be able to say, like, hey, my first trade is going to be executed, followed to the trade plan, to the T, executed with my A+ setups, waiting for my confluences, waiting for this, waiting for that, and then saying, hey, you know what? Now I can use that first trade bias the same way that I would do my 5th and choose the direction based off of that. There's that reclaim, by the way.
Yep. It's awesome. Yeah, no, dude, and not not glazing yourself on that one. I think it's a really hard thing to do, right? Is to get into the market, right? And get in long in that case and be proven wrong twice, and then not want to, after being proven right a couple times, but then really struggling to flip and say, hey, this market is selling off. I'm not just going to keep hammering the long. I've been invalidated twice. You didn't marry that initial bias, and you're able to flow with it. And then again, like you guys said, at the same time, man, set some ground rules for yourself as a whole, especially starting out, right? Like Ace, how long you been doing this, man? You've been trading for a while. I know it's longer than
over 10 years. I started when I was 18, 17. I'm now 30, so it's been 12 years in the make.
Yeah, dude.
I went to school for finance as well, just to give like a little bit of a back history.
Yeah, dude. Well, maybe we let you do the full history because we hopped in right before the open. But just real quick, guys, like for anybody that's listening to this, what you see traders do on here, I think is really good demonstration of their abilities, where they're at. And also, to a degree, you have to recognize, like, what should I be doing relative to my experience? What should I be doing relative to where I'm at? A lot of guys, watching here from my community, from your community, or just, anywhere on YouTube, what's up? Welcome in. You might be a couple months in. You might be a year in, right? The rules that you have to have for yourself, the guidelines, the guardrails, probably have to be a little bit tighter than someone like Ace, or maybe even myself, right? We're talking about somebody here who's, over a decade in the markets, right? He's going to have a lot more, control. He's going to have a lot better understanding of his edge in the market, and he's able to, continue on trading. Maybe you are someone that is 2 trades, 2 L's, and you're done. You're absolutely done for the day because that third one is the start of the tilt spiral. So, recognize that stuff and set some guardrails for yourself, man. That's the key piece, right? Like, yes, edge is important. Having an actual edge to create, some positive win rate and risk reward. Having a good way to structure risk, all extremely important. But the Achilles heel, where most people are really failing, is blowing up, just ripping through accounts on that one bad day. Good day, good day, good day. The P&L is beautiful for 7 days, and then what happens? Unfortunately, it's the big blow up. And I'm not saying that I haven't done that more times than I'd ever like to admit. I have, but you have to try to put some processes in your place. Try to do the postmortem when that happens. What the hell happened on that day? How can I really put everything in place to try to prevent that from happening, again? Otherwise, it's just this perpetual cycle, right? And you're stuck in it. So wanted to add that piece in there. But yeah, Ace, man, but I know we're going on a little bit late. If you have another couple minutes, man, give us the full backstory, because I got a lot of people on from my community. I can see it in my Discord. Give us the backstory. You just mentioned you're in trading from a young age, over 10 years in the market, after going to school for finance. What did the intro to this business look like for you?
Oh man, the intro for it.
I know you've probably told this story 100 times, and everybody asks the story, but give us a little bit of the origin story.
Man, it's been a wild ride. I could say that much on my part. I started off in high school, like I was talking about. I was working retail at the time, and some guy approaches me, and he's basically like, "Hey, have you heard of Forex? It's the biggest market in the world. You can make a lot of money, X, Y, and Z." And I'm like, you know what? I actually haven't. My mom's in business. I would love an opportunity. You got to take the risk in life. And so he brings me to this meeting. Little did I know it was a multi-level marketing, an MLM. So what a lot of people would view as a pyramid scheme, right? And so I get signed up. He sells me on the whole damn dream, and we start at it. And he's like, "Hey, brother, you haven't made a singular sale." And I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, who cares about the sales? I want to learn how to trade, because that was part of the service. He's like, "Yeah, but you got to hire people under you. That's how you really make the big money. That will be the reoccurring. You could use that as a passive and then make money trading as well." He's like, "You could kill 2 birds with 1 stone." And I was just like, "Brother, you are not selling me on trying to hire people right now."
Like, dude, I thought I was supposed to trade. What are we doing here? What's going on?
I thought you said I was going to be rich from trading. You sold me on the service. And so I never picked up one person under me, and I just began trading. And I was using, just like a lot of you guys, it came with a person, and analyst, quote unquote, a trader who would provide signals, right? Not financial advice. They're just trying to say what they were looking at, what levels they were viewing, and all that kind of good stuff. Took a few trades here and there, learned really quick what slippage is, especially when you're dealing with Forex, where you would enter and immediately be down $500-$600, and you're just like, whoa, what just happened? And ended up making $15,000. So going from an absolute broke high school kid to seeing $15,000 in my account, starting off with $2,000, which I thought $2,000 was a lot because I'm like, man, it's hard to save up in here. And that $15 meant the world to me. And I'm like, man, I really don't want to risk this now. Right. So this is where you kind of fight that battle between greed and fear. It's like, man, I want more, but now I'm also fearful because I've never seen $15,000 before. And this in itself is a lesson that I want to teach you guys. And you guys have probably heard a lot of people say before. It's like, man, if I had more money, I'd make so much more money. That's not how diminishing returns work. Just because you started off with $1,000 and you were able to bring it to $2,000 and you saw 100% return, it doesn't mean when you have $100,000 that you're going to easily turn that into $200,000. Does not work that way, right? You can't have that same scalability once you start to head into those bigger numbers. Plus, if you can't even manage $1,000, what makes you think you can scale up and manage $100,000? Does not work. Okay. So when I saw 15,000 from that initial 2K, I continued to do the same thing, same sizing, all of that. Ended up drawing it down to $6,000. And I said, you know what? I made a fair amount here and I'm actually going to stop. So took a little bit of a break, got into equities, buying some long-term, trying to stack up my portfolio. And as soon as I was in school, funny enough, it was a live futures trader who was right in front of me in our lecture when I was in college. And he pulled out $20,000 in front of my face. Funny enough, one of the most memorable moments was the professor talking about how technical analysis is such BS. He's like, I have to teach this to you guys, but TA, BS. And the guy stands up and he says, I made more money than you in a 3-hour period than your whole salary. So how could you say it's BS? And he's like, and I've been doing this every single day for this whole semester that we've been here. So he's like, I'm sorry, I got to defend myself because this is what I do for a living. He's like, I already have my master's, I have my PhD. I'm just here to learn additionally. And the professor is like, when you look at TA, I want you to think of driving a car. Now imagine driving in the car while looking in the rearview mirror, because that's exactly what TA is. You're trying to dictate where it's going forward while looking in the past. And he's like, but does the past give footprints? Can you kind of decide based off of the rearview mirror where the road might bend? And it always comes to a yes, right? Because statistically, if you see a little bit of a curve, yes, there's sudden curves and all of that. We can count those as a statistical loss. So we have a little bit of error there. When we know this as traders now, right? We know it's not 100% win rate based off of using past data. So they had this full argument and I'm like, man, this guy is so cocky, but he's so passionate about it. I need to dive back into trading. And so after I graduated, with him as like my kind of motivation at the time, I wanted to beat him because I told Tanner this. I always have like a little internal competition with whoever I surround myself by. Maybe it's the neurodivergence in me, who knows? But essentially, I'm like, man, he made $20,000 in that one class. I want to do the exact same. And so instead of doing my master's, which I was already applied for, I ended up deferring it another semester. And then within that time, I was doing small cap stocks. So that's where my journey then pivoted off of Forex. So it went Forex, equities, small cap stocks / crypto, because I was also investing in crypto at the time. And the crypto portfolio, massive blow up. We're talking about like XRP in the pennies. We're talking about ETH at like $20, $30, $40, $50. Very, very minimal. I consider myself a crypto baby because that's where a lot of the capital did come from. And from there, it was just exponential. And we talked about it yesterday on stream with Tanner, where he basically said like his parents supported him. I saw the complete opposite. My mom knew that I was in finance. I was ready to become an investment banker, a hedge fund manager, a portfolio manager for that case, where I could already guarantee myself a 6-figure income if I just continued down that path. And her being Asian, she was like, "What do you mean you're going to take the risk and do this full time?" I'm like, "Bro, what do you like? Just trust me. Just trust me, mom. For the first time ever in my life, I'm making a crucial decision for myself, and I'm young, right? The first thing that we learn in school is that risk depends based off of your age and how much, like if you have dependents, if you have a lot of expenses that you have to cover, so on and so forth, right?" And so she's like, "Okay, whatever. This kid's not going to listen to me. Just let him do his thing." At this time, I'm still living with my parents, just graduated, and she comes into the room saying, "Breakfast is ready." She's like pissed off, slams the door, like, "Breakfast is ready." She sees me close the trade. She looks at the P&L and sees positive $15,000 USD, which in Canadian seems like a gajillion dollars. So she runs downstairs, goes on the phone, calls all my aunts, and she's like, "My son is going to be rich. He just made $15,000 in just an hour. I just saw him go on the computer and he just did that." Next day, she sees it. Replicated the same thing, up $6,000. Still trading small cap stocks. From there, we get the massive move because now we're in COVID. So now I'm definitely not doing my master's because I have proof in the pudding. I know that I can do this. I just need to make sure that I can support myself, which at the time I was living with my mom. So my expenses weren't running high. And so I took on that full risk of not doing my master's, not doing my CFA, which I was already scheduled for. And then plus, because it was COVID at the time, I couldn't really do anything. So I picked up options, which again, I learned in school because I graduated in finance. And from options, it was just astronomical. A lot of people you hear say, "Oh, I've had so many eves and flows, man. I went through all the trials and tribulations." I'm fortunate enough to say that my growth was exponential because I drew myself a nice little timeline. I knew exactly what it took to get to point A to point B. Was there going to be small eves and flows in there? Yes, of course. But in terms of big losses or blowing up accounts and popping them, that never occurred for me because I knew that, hey, this is all a game of statistics. So how can I make sure my statistical edge means that I'm going to be positive? In the most cheesiest terms, it's how can the gambler become the casino as a retail trader? Once I figured out how to do that, the rest was easy.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
Yeah, that's like the origin story of Ace of
Trade. That's the origin story, dude. Everybody's got one. Everybody's got something. That's a crazy one, man. That's a crazy one. And again, like different from so many where didn't first off the school thing and the scene and all in front of you is such an interesting one. The MLM one is hysterical. Parents supporting you versus not supporting you. It's always so different, across what everybody has to deal with, man. But so cool to hear, and awesome to hear that you found it really young, where you were in a spot where you were able to focus, take on a lot of risk, and really have that exponential growth and to start just blowing up like early on, man. So super cool. Yeah, chat saying GOAT, awesome, cool story. Yeah, man, really, everybody's got one, right? Like even you guys in chat, you're all gonna you stay with it long enough, you're gonna have something, right? Whoever blew up today is gonna have that one where, hey, dude, on January 29th, I fucking was smashing my laptop. I had blown my, third set of accounts. Maybe that's the origin story for you, right? So it's awesome to hear, dude. Thanks for sharing. But yeah, man, we've ran this one pretty nicely, coming up on 2 hours, man. I don't want to keep you too much longer before I get ready to let you go, man. Let the people know where to find you. Prop Hub, Ace of Trades. What do we got going on, man? Plug the whole deal, please.
For sure. I appreciate you. On all socials, guys, you got Ace of Trades with 3 S's at the end. Ace of Trades was taken, unfortunately. I've never even heard of these people, but Ace of Trades was taken even 10 years ago. So I added 3 S's at the end. So it's at Ace of Trades. And then also Prop Hub Trading, where we go live as well every single day for free. You don't have to do any single purchasing when it comes to us. Just like my boy Zach, where
Love
we
it,
just
man. Free 99.
we just
Free
exactly free 99 is the way to go, and hopefully that you guys get to choose where the value lies, right? So this is why I love Zach, because of that same exact reason. He just does his thing, and whoever supports. And I believe that's the way to go, instead of trying to push people behind a paywall and they don't even know what they're truly paying for. But yeah,
man.
That's it, guys.
Awesome, dude. Listen, everybody from my community as well, anybody listening, you guys want to check out a badass trader, again, somebody that's got a long track record of trading live, of sharing the good and the bad, like you saw today, right? Sharing the wins, sharing the losses. I respect anybody, regardless of experience or whatever they do, that trades live, that shows the story and shows the journey day in and day out, the good and the bad, transparently, especially if they're doing it consistently live for free. I love when I get a lot of guys on the show that are doing the same thing, which is awesome, man. So you guys want to check it out. It's Ace of Trades with 3 S's across socials. Prop Hub Trading across socials as well. Check these guys out. Ace, man, thanks for coming on. Hopefully I can have you back on. We can run this one back.
Most definitely.
Awesome, man. And I'll definitely take you up on the offer anytime to hop on your stream as well, man. This was
for sure.
This was
We're
great.
definitely going to have you on.
W's today. It's not always this way. I won't always promise that it's going to be W's, but we caught some nice trades here today for
Beautiful
sure.
moves. Yeah,
absolutely. So Ace, man, I will let you go. Thank you so much for hopping on.
Absolute pleasure. I appreciate you. Until next time, guys.
All right, chat. I'll go ahead and leave my screen up. We'll get ready to run a giveaway. I try to let the guests go first. Awesome story, awesome trading out of Ace. The guests on this stream are just super awesome. Not to say awesome again, but I'm so grateful that I get to facilitate this. I'm so grateful that I get the caliber of trader that we have coming on this show, man. It's awesome. I've got more and more traders that have never been on before, including this week with Ace of Trades. But bear with me, guys. I'll be right back. Give me about 60 seconds. I think you probably know what we're going to get ready to run. I think you probably know what's coming up. Bear with me. Don't hop off the stream yet. Maybe you're going to get a chance to win a straight to funded 50K with no purchase necessary. I'll be right back, guys. Hang tight. All right, back in action with you guys here, man. Awesome stream. Can't complain about having somebody on, taking multiple W's, a couple L's, and then the comeback. Can't complain about a little over $1,000 in my Top 1 Futures pre-live account here with you guys. Starting to finish out this month strong, man. This has been a nice green week for me. Definitely started the month off to a rocky start. Took a couple back-to-back full stop losses. Part of the game. What do we do? You know, how have I maintained trading in this same account for going on now 5 months? I think I started this in October, November, December, 4 months, trading this account for 4 months. It's what you see here today, man. Just kind of staying patient. Market not doing anything, don't do anything stupid. Market sets up nice, take the trade. Do I know if it's going to be a winner or a loser, if I'm going to end up green or red? Nope, but just stay patient either way, not blow up, not go crazy, not do anything, you know, out of pocket, man. So interesting to see this market get really close, hit this discretionary level. I did have what I would say was a really big reach take profit that I wasn't holding to all the way down here. But we did get a beautiful test right into this level. One other thing I gotta say, man, discretionary levels coming off of volume profile, price action, market structure, working beautifully on YM. Go back, watch my live sessions, take a look at where my levels are. They're not hindsight levels. You can find this stuff the same way that I can. It's no proprietary crazy information. Check this stuff out for yourself. But here's what we got rolling today, guys. Here's what we got rolling. Let's see, chat. Yep. Straight to funded account every week is wrong. It should be every day. Yeah, it is every day. I'll have to adjust that. It is every day. But I think you guys know what time it is. We're going to get somebody funded with a 50K instant funded account from Top One Futures. Shout out Top One Futures for supporting me, supporting the stream. Give me just a second, guys. We're going to get the giveaway form loaded up here. Hang tight, hang tight. As soon as I can get this dang form to pop up. Come on, form. Let me get this rolling. The deal is no purchase necessary. You're going to have to fill the form out that's getting ready to drop here. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Just got to make sure that it is up and loaded so you guys don't yell at me. Google messing with me. Google, what's up, bro? What are we doing? We got to run a giveaway here, man. What's going on? Hold on. Sorry, guys. Hang tight. Hang tight. I had the form, but the form is not up yet. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It is... What the hell, man? Google. I don't know. We might have to call an audible here, guys. Let's see. All right, guys, the form is live in Discord. If you are not in the 100% free trading Discord, my Discord, here is the link to hop in the Discord. You have to be in the Discord to fill the form out. The form is the only thing that's the requirement. No purchase necessary, basic contact info. Quick rules for this one, since we got so many people on across platforms. It's a big Thursday stream, man. I know Ace brought a whole bunch of his people. Always grateful if you're here from somebody else's community. I appreciate you being here. You're always welcome. I hope to see you in your community coming up soon. But quick rule set for this one. This is for a 50K Ignite Instant Funded account from Top One Futures. Only fill the form out one time. The form is in Discord, in the main chat in Discord. Go ahead and fill it out one time. You have to be in the live chat across one of the streams to win. You have to be in the live chat across YouTube, Kick, or X, because I would assume you have to be here, right? It's part of the deal to win. I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes. 5 minutes to get the form filled out. We're going to go 11:25 a.m. Eastern. Is the form not opening? Somebody said the form's not opening. No, form's opening, guys. Form's opening. Responses are rolling in. You guys should be able to get this one filled out pretty quick here. And remember, guys, if you want to check out Top One Futures, you don't want to wait to win a giveaway. You say, hey, Zach, that's cool. I ain't no broke boy. I want to start trading today. You can check them out. Code RDF, like we were talking about earlier, gets you 60% off your first or next account from Top One Futures. One of the best deals at 60% off, especially in my humble biased opinion, because I'm partnered, I'm affiliated, I stand to make money. I can't be unbiased if I stand to make money. Do your own research, make your own decisions. In my humble biased opinion, put Top One Futures up against the competition, man. There's a reason I'm trading these accounts. There's a reason that Ace is trading these accounts, right? Outside of, getting some mutually beneficial payment on the back end, right? Through anybody using a code or a link, which you don't have to do for us to be trading live and trading with the accounts either way. They're some of the best in the industry. Is it the best for you? That comes down to a number of factors that I don't know about you, right? What is your experience? What is your capital allocation? What is your risk tolerance? What's your style of trading? Check this stuff out and then decide for yourself, man. I think, again, objectively looking at price, rule set, what you have to do to get a payout, when you put them side by side, you'll be surprised. I think a lot of traders right off the bat, and I often have conversations like, I take people commenting on my stuff all the time. Oh, they suck. It's dog water. It's a scam or something. Somebody commented this crazy, what a piece of garbage, this and that. I could take a $5,000 payout from Top Step. And I talked about this again yesterday, right? They were not really aware of how much money you have to make in order to get that $5,000 payout relative to how much you have to make to get a payout from Top 1 futures. Put this stuff side by side, guys. It's really important. It's your money to potentially spend on prop accounts and then to get payouts from. So check it out. But for instant funded accounts, I think they are some of the best in the biz. So go ahead, get this one filled out. Like I said, guys, form is live for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 11:25. It will be getting shut down. Go ahead. It is in the main chat in the main Discord. Free to join as always. I'm going to throw the link in there because we commented. Just in case you couldn't find your way in, it's pinned to the top. Here it is in chat. It's also down below this video. 100% free community. No course, no VIP, no mentorship, just free 99. Streams like this, man, if you enjoyed this one, just so you know, feel free, smash the subscribe button. I'm here trading live 9:15 a.m. Eastern almost every damn day on YouTube, Kick, and X. I appreciate anybody that hops on, man. I just like we were talking about with Ace here before he hopped off, sharing the journey, man. Sharing the journey. The good and the bad. I don't have it all figured out. I'm not the best trader. I don't have some magic strategy where you just can be better than the markets. And oh my gosh, if you just follow what I do or give me, $99.99, I'll tell you how to make $1 zillion. None of that stuff, man. I show you what trading looks like for me. Wins and losses, right? W's like today, like we caught over 300 points on YM for a nice $1,050 in the Top 1 futures pre-live 15K that I trade live with you guys almost every damn day. And the losses that I took coming into the beginning of this month, right? I had some back-to-back losses, a couple back-to-back red weeks. That's what trading looks like for me, right? I hope it doesn't always look like that for me, but that's part of it. Most traders will have that. Majority of traders will have that. They will have red days, weeks, and most of them will have red months, right? And then you will have green weeks, days, months. You'll have break-even days, weeks, months. And hopefully you have some really good months in there, right? Kick the year off into the green. But as always, appreciate you guys coming on, man. Appreciate you guys hopping on as always. But again, I repeat myself 1,000 times when we're running the giveaway. I'm giving you guys plenty of time today. Plenty of time today. Remember, do yourself a favor. I'm trying not to yell at anybody or be annoying. Don't fill it out more than one time, man. If you do that, you're going to get yourself banned. You're going to get yourself banned from the streams, but along with that, you're going to get yourself banned from the prop firms. Don't do that. Not fun. If you don't win today, come back, plot twist. We're probably going to run one again tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. All right, let's get ready to run the duck race. For those of you that are new, we do a duck race, which is essentially just a random name picker. But it's fun because you get to watch your duck run. Remember, guys, you have to give me some username, right? If you're on Kick, YouTube, or X, I need to know where you're at across Kick, YouTube, or X. If you put NA in everything, I'm going to use your Discord username, but you got to be on a live stream. I give you guys a couple minutes to make sure that you're not just full of crap and you are actually on the live stream, but you have to be in the live stream for a chance to win. If your duck is the winner, if your duck hits a TP, you got to be here to claim it. You got to be here to claim it. Part of the game. All right, guys, getting ready to wrap this one up. Responses are closed. Closed. We got a lot of ducks in a row today. We have Why is it not letting me? Hang on 1 second, guys. Got to get everybody's name in here so nobody yells at me. 3 minutes on the clock. We have... There we go. 117 ducks in a row. Yeah. Yeah. Remember, guys, this is for, as I'm getting this one set, Top 1 Futures account. Shout out Top 1 Futures for supporting me, supporting the stream, supporting you guys. Code RDF gets you the best deal. Better than any deal always, or as good. Will get you better than the email, the website, the Discord. Code RDF gets it done. Shout out for being a a partner to be able to negotiate that with them for my community, including you guys, everybody on here. But now that we are ready to roll, good luck, everybody. Let's go ahead and run it. 3 minutes on the clock. 3 minutes on the clock. Oh, so many ducks and only 82 likes. What are you guys doing? Smash the like button. Yeah, man, smash the like button. Just for reference, so you guys know how we get so many ducks in here. Right now, concurrent, we have well over 150 across streams because I do stream to YouTube, Kick, and X. So some people go, well, how did so many people fill it out or what it is? Yeah. Yeah, form's done, guys. Ready to go. Can I join your gang? Dang, you look like gang members. Me? I look like a gang member? That's a nice thing. That's a nice thing to say. Yeah, dude, you can join the gang. Team RDF. Pull up right here. You're part of the gang, part of the team. Team RDF. Real Deal Futures. Duck Race, let's go. Wow, 2 seconds. Hey, can we get an extra minute? Hey, yeah, guys, I fill the form out, right? You know, I set it up for a set amount of time. I can't cater to everybody, right? I drop it, random days, random times. You hop in the Discord, you fill the form out. That's how it works. Every damn day, it's the same thing. Gus asks, can you explain the 20% rule on Top 1 Futures, please? Yes, there is a 20% consistency rule. And Gus, just so you know, I have a full video on YouTube. If you want to watch the full video without me just running through it really quickly, I have a complete video with examples on the screen talking about it, everything. But the 20% consistency rule with Top 1 is the same across as it is across multiple firms. A 20% consistency rule at a prop firm means no single day of profit can be more than 20% of your total profit when you go to request a payout. So, no single day of profit can be larger than 20% of your total profit when you go to request a payout. So, what is the total profit needed? Here's how you would back into it. What's the total profit needed to take a payout? Maybe on a 50K account, that's $3,000. On the instant funded 50K account, you need to put up $3,000 of profit, and then you're eligible for a $2,500 withdrawal. Who can tell me what 20% of $3,000 is? If you wanted to take a $2,500 payout as soon as you hit the $3,000 profit target, what's the amount of money, the amount of profit that you cannot go over on one single day of trading? Who can tell me in the chat? Maybe I'll give you a virtual high five. That's what the 20% consistency rule means. Do the math, and then I'll let you guys know if you know how to do math or not. 600, not 6,000, but 600. Yes, you guys got it. So if you're trading a 50K account and you want to take a $2,500 payout as soon as you hit 3,000, which you don't have to do, you could make more or less, can't go over $600. Here we go, coming into the close. I didn't even get to announce it. Fast money formula, taking the W. Remember, guys, nobody go anywhere. Not to yell and blow everybody's ear out. Nobody go anywhere just yet. Remember, they have to be here to claim it. We've had to rerun these races multiple times. So Gus, if you have more questions, feel free. Check my YouTube out. Hop in Discord. I'm happy to help you out. Some of that stuff can be a little confusing. Fast money formula. Are you here in the chat? Let me make sure I know who this is. I'll give everybody a little bit of time. Nobody freak out. I'm sure he's here. This is a Discord OG. Fast money is always here. I love that name, by the way, man. Fast money formula. Fast money is always here. All right, Duck, you're blowing everybody's eardrums out with your quacking. Hang on. All right, Duck. Fast money formula. Let's see. He is here in the YouTube live stream. There he is. W's in the chat for Fast Money. You are the winner of a 50K Ignite. account from Top 1 Futures. Remember, guys, if you want to check out Top 1 Futures, you want to check out what I'm talking about, going straight into an instant funded account with no challenge, no activation fee from day one. Here is the link to do that. Code RDF is going to get you the best deal. It's in the chat. It's pinned to the top. If you got any questions, Discord, anywhere, find me. I'm happy to help you guys out. Awesome trading day with Ace of Trades on stream. Again, if you guys want to check out Ace of Trades, he's Ace of Trades with 2 S's, or 3 S's, excuse me, and Prop Hub Trading. Pretty nice W for me today on the stream, man. I don't want to sell myself short. I can't complain about my close, although we could have got a little bit more profit out of it. This was my exact trade with 7 micros here on MYM. Here was the exact entry. If you guys want to see it, I actually went back and put the entry and the take profit in the exact spots that they were supposed to be. I don't know exactly where my take profit was, but it was somewhere up above this high. Excuse me, my stop loss. But here was the entry. Crack to the upside. Come back down through VWAP across the low really aggressively. Waited for the pullback into the 250s. We got that. Could have been a little bit better on my entry, but we got that right to the 250s. You can go back and watch the live stream. Of course, none of this is hindsight BS. We do it live here every damn day. Sold off, caught a nice W, over 300 points on MYM. I can't complain, man. Can't complain. Back to some profit on a Top 1 Futures 15K pre-live account. This account that I'm in, just so you guys know, this is what you get kicked to after you trade well enough, right? You make enough profit, you know, whatever their qualifications are. Daily payouts, unlimited, uncapped withdrawals, 80-20 profit split, no consistency rule. No consistency rule, right? So, you know, when you see people putting up, I made $50,000 today. Did you do that in evals? Did you do that in funded accounts that you're not eligible to take that, where maybe you could take half of it out? Did you do it in a live account where you're able to pull out as soon as you're in profit the full amount, whatever the profit split is? Something to ask yourself, man. Anyway, guys, appreciate you being here. Thank you. Awesome time on stream. We are back at it tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern. Hop in the Discord. Follow me across IG and X if you want a chance to win more accounts. I got some fun stuff coming up. Follow on IG just so you guys have it, because I know you guys love the free stuff. Don't miss out. I don't want you to be all mad. Real Deal Zach on X and IG. I got a couple days off coming later next week. I will have multiple giveaways running across other socials. There's the Easter egg for y'all that are on the stream. Appreciate you guys for being here. Have an awesome day. I will see you in Discord. Trade safe the rest of this week, guys. Coming into the end of the month, definitely trade safe. Quick disclaimer, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Thank you guys for being here, man. Have an awesome rest of the day. I will talk to y'all in Discord. Talk to you across socials. See you back here tomorrow, early AM, 9:15, man. 9:15. Talk to you guys soon.